President Trump in Egypt, meeting with other world leaders, specifically leaders from the Arab world and the Muslim world, other European leaders there also. They all signed an agreement to move the peace process between Israel and Hamas and just peace in general across the Middle East forward. All of this, again, part of President Trump's trip to the Middle East. He spent the morning in Israel, where dozens of Israeli hostages formerly held by Hamas were released earlier today. The commander-in-chief is now in Egypt for a peace summit, as you can see, with leaders from Arab and Muslim countries. They're going to have a brief press conference, and then they'll meet behind closed doors, separate from the media, as you just heard the president say. Other world leaders from across Europe are also part of the discussion. However, neither Israel nor Hamas, who are at the center of the peace agreement, are participating in the talks. Either way, though, Egypt's president actually praised President Trump for his leadership in all of this earlier today.
You are the only one who is able to bring about peace and to achieve peace in this part. I thank you, Mr. President. And what we need to do now is to fixate the ceasefire, make sure that it maintains, Mr. Stevens, that we can deliver all of the bodies of the deceased to their families, and this is very important.
The so-called Gaza Peace Summit that you just saw is being co-hosted by Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, as well as President Trump. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, along with French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, along with President Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority, are among the dozens of leaders expected to be on hand for today's summit and who are there. Iran was invited to participate in the talks, but declined to send a representative, even though earlier today, President Trump said that Iran had released a statement praising the move towards peace across the Middle East. We'll, of course, continue to cover this for you throughout the day and keep you updated, particularly once President Trump goes back before the microphones. For now, let's get you back to the Charlie Kirk Show.
This movement will not be silenced. You're listening to The Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back to The Charlie Kirk Show. Andrew Colvin, executive producer of this show. It is Peace in the Middle East Monday. We're about to continue our conversation. We're going to do some MSM reaction clips to see how the other side of the aisle is receiving the good news. Many of us, but first I'm going to tell you about My Patriot Supply. Many of us are hopeful about the direction of the country. But after years of abuse and mismanagement, things could fall apart at any moment. That's why I and many Americans from all walks of life have taken action to prepare for whatever is coming next. And that starts with having an emergency food supply. Storing food in your home is not only the right thing to do, because we're living in crazy times, but it's good for your family, it's good for all of your loved ones. You've got to be prepared. Right now, you can get prepared as well with a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. It comes with delicious foods like creamy beef stroganoff, honey, wheat bread, and mushroom rice pilaf. The entire kit offers over 2,000 calories a day, which is remarkable, and it lasts up to 25 years. Who knows what the country will look like then, but when that day comes, you'll be ready. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Kirk to order your 3-month emergency food kit at My Patriot Supply. That is mypatriotsupply.com/Kirk. Portions of the Charlie Kirk Show are proudly brought to you in part by My Patriot Supply. All right, so let's play some clips here.
I want to flag this just because I saw this flit across, and it was very revealing about what we've been working with in this conflict. So they're releasing hostages. So to release the Israeli hostages, they also had to release some Palestinian prisoners Hamas wanted back. And so this is I don't even know what article it's from, but it says, I did confirm these are real people. Hamas will release Alana Hel, a 24-year-old talented pianist and musician. Israel will release Nabil Abu Hadir, who murdered his own sister for suspecting she was an Israeli agent.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. Different cultures, people.
Yeah, fair enough. So here's what you know when you know hell has frozen over, Raheem. This is a actual clip from MSNBC. Play cut 45.
We don't know if it will be the first chapter of a longer story of peace for the Middle East. The president's trying to frame it that way. We simply don't know.
It's a terrific day for the hostage families. It's a terrific day for President Trump. We should make no mistake about this. This is a victory for President Trump.
Whoa.
Stunning.
Stunning and brave, actually.
They're taking the L on this one a little bit.
They are.
We mentioned the New York Times. We should flag that one. So I'll talk about this one a bit. So the New York Times, they do have the headline that it's happening, but then they have news analysis on their front page. And it's why now? The lost chances to reach a hostage deal and a ceasefire months ago. Yeah. Which I feel is gliding over this quite long, roughly 15-month period where someone else was president and could have conceivably.
Who would that be?
I don't know. New York Times doesn't mention it.
We don't know who's that. Autopen.
Right.
Autopen.
So they're complaining. They say, on Gaza, President Trump put few, if any, guardrails on Israel's offensive, bucking international demands for a ceasefire. Then he changed course.
It's like, how do you find something to complain about?
They're complaining about a thing that Biden had a substantially longer time to achieve, did not achieve, didn't apparently really even come close to achieving. Trump, he put a lot of pressure to get the temporary one in place right around the inauguration. In fact, that was while Biden was president, but Witkoff was doing all of that mission stuff in the Middle East. But now, he went back and forth. He did his deal-making shtick. That is how he has done foreign policy all 5 years he's been in office, and it's gotten a lot of wins.
It does fundamentally go to their misunderstanding of the art of the deal, right? It's not just a catchphrase. It's actually a very good book, and it's a great tactic that served him well, not just in office, but throughout his whole life. This whole thing, they complain about course change. You're not course changing if you start a negotiation at $100 and you settle somewhere in the middle. That's how he's done everything over the course of his life. They want to see this weird intransigence, where even when things are going terribly, Afghanistan, the withdrawal, all of that under Biden, right, under Autopen, and they have this intransigence. We're going to keep doing it the same way, no matter how badly it was going. This is the way it's done. This is the way foreign policy works.
That's like the UN consensus. This is how they always do it. Yes. Every single world issue, they'll just have this inflexible position on something. They'll have a bunch of people with PhDs in peace studies or something fake like that, and they'll say, like, we need to have we need to have a ceasefire, but they'll just kind of moan about everything. There's no serious effort to broker a deal either way.
If I have to hear two-state solution as if that in and of itself is how you get there, I can't stand that. It's bureaucratic, it's intransigent, and it's offensive. It's offensive to people who elect these people, who back these people to get things done. And I think the backdrop of what you're seeing on television today is a lot of people around the world who are still perhaps a little bit TDS in the way that they think are going to look at that and go, I hope, my goodness, I was wrong all along.
Well, Trump is a man of action, and you talk about this negotiation. I think that's a really great way to put it. But here's what happens in a negotiation: you get new details, new information that comes in, and so you pivot, you adjust, and Trump is the best of that. He's not dogmatic. He looks at what's a fair deal, who has the leverage, and let's make a deal based on who has the leverage, right? So the hostages were a point of leverage, there's no doubt about it. But so were, the bombs that were getting dropped on Gaza, right? So each side had something to win by ending this war, and I think Trump saw that, and he threaded the needle. He's got this whole 20-point peace plan that is a long-term peace plan. And that's why bringing immediately all of these other partners from the region and the world. By the way, I was like, Macron's trending. Why is he trending? Trump just completely manhandled him. If we want to play that clip, it's probably pretty funny and worthwhile. But it's another Trump-Macron handshake. We'll play it for you because it's entertaining. 85.
A coat and tie. It's usually a flak jacket and a helmet. So, an interesting change. As we see the president there with the French President Macron in Sharm el-Sheikh. The leaders of some 35 countries, according to the president, gathering there for a peace summit. Now, there is a bro shake. If ever I've looked, we won't let go. Okay, you let go. No, I'm going to let go. All right, there we go. As they assemble for the class photo there.
They had the UAE guy came up, and apparently Trump just pointed at him. He's like, they got a lot of money. Unlimited money.
I just love that Macron and Trump just always,
there's always something.
Every time, it's like, the handshake drama just plays out.
If you saw the wider clip, by the way, the wide shot of that, Macron is actually steadying himself with his back foot. Trump is just standing still and standing upright, and Macron's like trying to get traction on the ground.
I just love it. I just love it. So we are getting some emails, by the way. I'm going to give a shout out to Kay Carla. She said, my top 5 House of Representatives that she would like to see escorted very efficiently out of the chamber would be, number 1, AOC, number 2, Jasmine Crockett, number 3, Jim Clyburn, number 4, Ilhan Omar. That would be my top one, I'm going to say. Number 5, Ayanna Pressley. And then Cory Booker in the Senate. That's
Vernon
a good list.
Elliott says he wants Jasmine Crotchich to be escorted from...
Blake, this is a family show.
I don't want to see Ilhan Omar ejected from the chamber. I want to see her ejected from the country.
Well, that's fine,
So that's
too.
a different thing.
Well, yeah.
If it's on the way, I'm with it.
Yeah, one does not preclude the other.
Yeah, okay, fine.
They're not mutually exclusive. By the way, I'm getting emails about your shirt, your sweater.
I know, and I'm ashamed to say that I don't know where it was some Instagram ad.
Oh, that's...
But do you know what? I'm very excited because I've ordered a lot of Turning Point swag, and I know that there's been so much demand, but I'm waiting patiently, and I think people should wait patiently because it's worth it.
Since we're on the topic there, Raheem, I know a lot of you have ordered stuff from the CharlieKirkStore.com, and we thank you for that. Especially, it's a huge, I guess, lift as we try and keep everybody employed and all of those things. Is massive. We are about 60 or 70% of the way through those orders. So if you have still not gotten your Freedom shirt or whatever it is that you may have ordered, please bear with us. We are pulling out all the stops, and trust me, our team is working on that 24/7. So your shipment will arrive in due time.
I'm not even just saying this. I have ordered it, and I have also become a monthly donor to Turning Point USA.
Bless you, man.
And I think anybody who can do that should do that. I think it's incumbent upon us to support these people, not just because of what they're going through, because actually what they're creating and what they're doing out there. And it's probably the best. I mean, I think one of the best political causes I've ever seen in my life. Certainly the best cause in America right now.
Yeah. Well, I probably should give folks a little bit of an update on this, actually. So thank you for that, and because I agree, of course, but everybody is fixating on the growth, which makes a lot of sense. We have, just incredible growth. I'm trying to find the numbers here right now, but put it this way: before September 10th, we had about 900 college campus chapters. We had about 1,200 high school chapters. We have now added almost 800 new college chapters, which I didn't even know was possible. Wow. But these are probably some of the smaller ones, things we didn't focus on as much because we already had pretty good saturation within the D1 schools and the big state schools and things like that. But somehow there are these smaller schools, etc. On the high school level, the last number I've gotten, that was Wednesday, so I need an update. But we have added over 1,819 new high school chapters. Wow. So we have more than doubled in a month how many chapters. And people have to understand, it's not like we make a phone call and you have a chapter. No, you got to get a sponsor at the school. They have to meet with our staff. They have to get trained. We have to, and then there's a process for becoming an RSO, registered student organization, at these schools. And so it's an involved thing. Our staff is all over the country. They're meeting with these students. They're getting them combined because a lot of these schools had multiple students that applied to start a chapter. So we're putting these teams together. It's a very involved process starting a chapter, but it is happening rapidly. Every day, dozens and dozens and dozens more. And in our student network, we have now eclipsed over 800,000 students in our network. So that's high school and college students. Before all this happened, we were about 450,000. So we're almost doubled how many students are sort of widely engaged or involved with us in one shape or form or another. So almost over 800,000. So it's tremendous growth. And by the way, our campus tours, whether that be Glenn Beck, Vivek, Megan, Tucker, whoever, Governor Gianforte, there's been no, I guess, limit, it seems, to how many people want to be involved in these. And people, Russell Brand in Oklahoma, we're going to have Savannah Chrisley, and we're talking everything's sold out, lines out the door. We can't find big enough arenas, and we have some really fun announcements coming up of some of these new stops. So thank you, Raheem. I know everybody just seems to be so interested in the growth of Turning Point, and it's all a testament to Charlie's life and legacy and the life he lived and the message that he carried with him, and obviously the outpouring of love and support. We know that that it's all about what Charlie did and what he showed us and taught us, and so we're blessed. So thank you so much. And I know you went to the memorial too.
Yeah,
if you want
absolutely.
30 seconds if you want to.
You know who I think you should have next on one of these tours, by the way?
Who's that?
The next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Nigel Farage.
We should talk about we should talk about that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And listen, I want to talk directly to the audience while I have 10 seconds here. Is we've always complained about things not getting done out there in the country, out there to save America, and these guys are doing it. So support them.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I'm going to tell the audience about some other people that are doing some good work to help save America, and that is Patriot Mobile. I always get those two mixed up. Think about it. Every dollar you spend is either supporting your values or working against them. In today's economy, where you spend your money matters. That's part of how we take our country back. The Patriot Mobile is leading the way as America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Switch today without sacrificing quality or service. You'll get exceptional nationwide coverage because unlike most budget wireless providers, Patriot Mobile has access to all 3 major U.S. networks. So you can pick which one you want, which one has the best service in your area. You can even add 2 numbers on 2 networks, which is what I do, on 1 phone. So here's the best part. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're supporting faith, family, and freedom. If you believe in our First and Second Amendment rights, the sanctity of life, and supporting our veterans, this is where you do it. So right now, go to patriotmobile.com/Charlie to get a free month of service with promo code Charlie. That's patriotmobile.com/Charlie to get a free month of service. Check it out now. We will be right back with Raheem Kassam in just a second.